Welcome to Exchange. I'm Ricky, and this is my lovely wife, Erica, and we're so glad to be back before you with another episode. Today, we're going to go over our 5 qualities to look for in a spouse. This is going to be a comparison list. If you've been watching, Erica did her list of her 5 qualities to look for in a husband, and I did my 5 of what to look for in a wife. Now we're going to just kind of compare and contrast our lists. So, babe, how about give your list of what you decided were your top 5 to look for in a husband?
Okay, so my top 5, I said number 1 was loyalty and faithfulness. Number 2 was godly character. Number 3, being gainfully employed. Number 4, having open, honest communication. And then number 5, being respectful, chivalrous, and having a man.
Man. All right. Okay. We're good.
Yeah, and then, so what was yours?
Well, my list, I had number 1, physical attractiveness. Number 2, godly character. So similarities. Number 3, loyalty and faithfulness.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Number 4, affectionate or nurturing. And then my last one, number 5, is consistent behavior.
Very good. Interesting. Now, listen, guys, we made these lists totally separate. We
Right.
didn't compare them. We didn't say, okay, let's discuss it. Ricky just asked me one day, hey, what would be the 5 top things you were to look for in a husband? I just rattled them off.
Yeah.
And then I said the same thing. He did the same thing. So it's kind of interesting now to see and compare what we had that was similar and this just was different.
Right. Definitely. I mean, I think it was good. It was a good little exercise to do. Because it kind of shows that we do have some things in common in terms of things that are important, but then there were some things that were just a little different.
Yeah. And I see that we both had loyalty and faithfulness.
Yeah.
It was in a different order, which I don't think we did them in a
It
particular
wasn't
order.
necessarily per se in an order.
But that's good. We both had loyalty and faithfulness.
Yeah.
And I kind of chuckle at physical attractiveness. I know I didn't list that one, but that's important for me too. So, it just didn't come to my mind. So, of course, yeah, I would want to be physically attractive to someone too.
I think for guys,
that's a man thing.
Yeah, because I mean, we're more sight.
Yeah, more visual.
And so, yeah, you want something good to look at.
Right. But we both said godly character.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I say gainfully employed, but I mean, you're a man, so you wouldn't necessarily say
and that's interesting because, I think for me, that's not something that I'm necessarily looking for in a wife, because I guess my mindset is that I'm going to do my very best to be a provider. And though it's helpful that your wife work, and I think it is important. I mean, you want someone to have a career and have ambition and that sort of thing. But I guess from my point of view, or from a man's point of view, I'm more or less looking at it as that's not something that would make my top 5.
Right, exactly.
Because I'm looking at it from the standpoint of I'm going to be the provider for my family.
And that's in the order of how God set things too, because you think of, it's God, then man, then woman, and godly men are considered to be the head of their homes or to be the provider. So I can see that, and a lot of times you have, stay-at-home moms or moms that, just at home being the house manager, because that's a hard job.
Right.
You're taking care of the kids. And so that's a job. Whether you're getting money from it, that's a job. That's a job.
Yeah, definitely.
And then, so I had open, honest communication.
Right.
And then you had affectionate nurturing.
Right.
So those are a little bit different, but it kind of shows how women may think or men may think, or it's just something different. Nothing wrong. It was just something different. Something different.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned consistent behavior, and then I mentioned being respectful and chivalrous and the man kind of thing.
Right.
So, yeah.
So explain the man.
Well, kind of like I said in the video, it's like I want you, of course you're a man,
Hmm.
but in situations where things may get heated, or we're out somewhere, or we're just hanging out and there's somebody being disrespectful,
Hmm.
or just being sort of belligerent, and to me, the man to step in and say, hey, okay, hold on a second, that's my queen.
Gotcha.
That's she's my wife.
So you're looking for a protector.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
protector. And I think I
Yeah.
said that in my point.
Hmm.
So someone not gonna just let your wife be
Yeah.
disrespected, or, be badgered upon,
Hmm.
but step in and say, hold on, man, or hold
Hmm.
on, woman, or whoever you are. Let's pull back a little bit. What's going
Right.
on? Because, this is my wife, and let's figure out and see what's going on. That's what
Hmm.
I kind of mean about man, not being afraid.
Yeah.
Of course, not talking about situations you put yourself in carelessly or causing harm. This world is crazy
Hmm.
right now. But to be that protector and to be like, I can
Right.
depend on, if I'm somewhere, that you're going to step in, or if you see something going on
Hmm.
that's not right, you're going to be like, I got your back, baby.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I could
Yeah.
definitely see that. That's something that's important. I
Hmm.
believe that's even, I believe, a biblical view
Mm.
of manhood, being a provider,
Right.
being a protector.
Mm.
You're supposed to protect your home and protect your family.
Yeah.
So I definitely can understand how that can be important.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. So, anything else that you thought about our list and comparing it? As you guys can see, we had some similarities, but we had some
Right.
differences. But differences, as we've talked in a podcast before, differences aren't bad. Differences are just differences.
Yeah. I like your open, honest communication.
Hmm.
I do believe that's important, even, on both sides, even for a man in terms of looking at his wife. He wants someone that's going to be honest with him.
Right.
Sometimes you don't like hearing the truth sometimes, but
Hmm.
it's important. You need someone to be a sort of accountability partner, and your future spouse or your spouse
Right.
can be that for you. You need someone to maybe question maybe a decision that you're about to make. You need that sounding board. As I say, the wife is supposed to be your helpmate.
Yes,
And so
yes.
a lot of times, guys, we can be guilty of being headstrong and
Mm.
just making all the decisions without consulting with our wife.
Hmm.
But it's important to have that open, honest communication where you can talk. And so I think that's something important to look for. If you're a
Right.
single man looking for a wife, you want someone to be honest with you.
Definitely.
Mhm.
I like the one that you said, affectionate nurturing, because I thought about that as well. Once, we went through the list, as you know, I'm
Mhm.
an affectionate person. So,
Right.
the PDA, public display of affection, holding hands, hugging. I remember when we first were dating, it was like, I was always reaching for Ricky's hand, and, little kiss on the cheek or whatever.
Mhm.
And, I think for Ricky, it was like, yeah, I gotta, this is good. I like affection, but I gotta kind of ease on into this,
Yeah, it was an adjustment for me in a
Yeah.
sense because I just
I mean,
never.
you were affectionate,
Yeah,
but it was more like, because of the godly character and who you are, it wasn't necessarily just out there,
right,
It's more
right.
reserved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think I warmed up to it in terms of holding hands. I knew that was something important to you.
In the
So
PDA, yeah.
right, and
Uh-huh.
so it's kind of like if I love you, I have to do those kind of things, those things that make you feel good.
Right,
Hmm.
right. So that was a good point, and I thought it was like, yeah, I like affection too. So it just shows you that even though you created your list and I created
Hmm.
mine, a lot of it are interlapping,
Yeah,
or we both sort of feel the same way once we look at it and say, oh yeah,
yeah, definitely the godly character.
definitely.
I think that's very important. We didn't necessarily get real deep per se
Right.
into that. We have talked about being equally yoked and
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing. But having common faith,
Mm-hmm.
living by godly principles.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are important. And I
Definitely.
think it's something that you should definitely look for. I believe that one, I feel confident in saying that should definitely be on your list. You want someone with godly character.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
not, as I mentioned, you're not a faker and shaker.
Mhm.
You're not just proposing it or saying it out of your mouth, but your character and how you're living is following the things you're saying.
Yeah.
Because I hear so many times that on both sides, whether it's the man looking for a wife or the wife looking for a husband, they meet people and then within a few weeks is like, well, you say you're this, but
Mhm.
then you're showing
The
totally
actions not
different
matching.
opposites of,
Yeah.
of God's character. And it's
Mhm.
like, makes you like think, okay, you're showing me this so early on. You better take heed because what you're
Mhm.
saying is not matching what you're doing.
Yeah. And I think that's very important of what you
Mhm.
said. When you're single and like you said, as a guy, you're looking for a wife or you're a wife waiting for a husband. It's important to be very observant and
Mhm.
to when you see signs of things that just don't line up, you need to take heed to that. Don't be naive and think, oh, I hear women that may say, oh, I can change him, you know.
No.
Right.
Trust me, you can't. You can't, and vice versa. You can't change a person's core of who they are, whether that's godly or ungodly.
Mhm.
You can't change that. Sure, you may have an impression upon them, or you may meet somebody who wasn't necessarily going to church and they start going to church with you. Yes, those things can happen.
Mhm.
And if it's genuine, those things are going to change.
Yeah.
And, it may work very well together. But there's just some things you see early on, or you get those red flags and you're like, don't just settle, ladies.
Right.
And for the men, don't just settle, men. God has that person for you
Yeah.
with the characteristics of what you've been praying for, what you know is going to work for your life, for your
Mhm.
family, whether you've had kids. God knows, and you have to trust Him. And I know we did a video about being the one, as we talking about finding
Mhm.
the one, but you have to be the one too.
Yeah.
You have to possess all these things as well.
Exactly.
So,
Well, we thank you so much for viewing. We hope that you will take the time to create your top 5 list of the 5 qualities that you're looking for in a spouse. I think it's very important, and I think it's something that will be a blessing to you because it will
yes.
help, kind of define a
Yes.
little bit more of what's going to be important to you, what you believe in God for in a potential mate.
Yes.
But once again, we thank you so much for viewing. We ask that you will please subscribe, like our channel, and leave us a comment. Take the time, maybe put your top 5 in the comment and just share that with us. But we thank you so much for viewing, and we will see you again in the next episode. And we wish you and pray blessings upon you. God bless.
God bless. Thank you.